Northrup on Glimpse TV, and I'm here with Laura Roeder, who is calling in from Santa Monica, California.
Hello.
And Laura and I just spent the weekend together at Marie Forleo's Rich, Happy, and Hot Live in New York City. It was so good to see you in person, and it was so good to hear you rock it from stage.
Thank you.
And one of the things that I love that you talked about, Laura is a web maven, and one of her products is called Creating Fame. And I actually have a blog post that I've been marinating on, and it may be like an entire book on why fame is such a stupid goal. So I actually really was excited to talk to you about why you named your product that, and like what that sort of fame is that you're talking about.
Yeah. And I'm just going to keep going, whatever
just keep
technical
going, even if we freeze.
have.
We'll just have like moments where it's like, it'll be good.
We're going to roll with it. So yeah, it's funny to have a program called Creating Fame because fame is such a loaded word.
Yeah.
And I do think, especially with online marketing, and there's a lot of people who value fame and almost above their business. And once you sort of get behind the scenes, you do see that there are people that are famous and they look like they're doing well, but they're not enjoying their business. They're not making as much money as you think they are.
Yep.
So that's definitely not the kind of fame that I'm interested for my business and that I'm interested in teaching others. What creating fame really means is being famous, as in being the go-to person in whatever it is that you do. It's really about having a reputation so that people feel comfortable buying from you, especially when we're talking about buying over the internet. That know, like, and trust is really, really important. So it means fame as in everybody knows that you're the lawyer that's great at dealing with trademark issues. You know, you're not famous in any mainstream sense of the word, but when people start talking about trademark, your name comes up over and over again. That's what creating fame is.
Awesome. That's so good. I can see that I'm frozen now, so I'm just going to turn off my camera, but we're going to continue. There we go. So that's really nice to hear. I mean, I know that because I've been watching your videos and I heard you from stage, but for anybody else who might, and I've spent a lot of time with famous people, just by default. I don't know why. I think it's astrological or something. And I can tell you that it's not actually a goal. It's like not a goal, but being known, liked, and trusted is a beautiful goal. So, and there I am, frozen with a crazy face again. So can you just tell me one way, when you started out, I know you were a web designer in Chicago, just like one simple thing that you did to up your know, like, and trust factor online?
I think creating regular content is really, really important, like you do with Glimpse TV. One of the things that I did when I was first starting my social media business is I decided I was going to commit to a weekly newsletter. And I had tried to write a newsletter before. I'm sorry, is my printer really distracting?
What? Oh, the fact that you're... Oh, you're good. Now you're good.
Okay. It's really loud to me. It's always something. So I had tried to do a newsletter before, and you know, as anybody who's tried to blog or do a newsletter knows, it's difficult to have that consistency, and I wasn't really committed to it. I did it like once a month. Sometimes it didn't come out. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to make a choice to publish a newsletter every Wednesday, every single week, hell or high water, no matter what. And I think that regular content, it doesn't have to be weekly for everyone, but I think you do need to set expectations of how often it's going to come out. Regular content is really, really important because it makes you a trustworthy, reliable source. People know that they can depend on getting your newsletter, watching your show on some sort of consistent basis.
Right.
That alone, it's a small thing, but most people cannot get it together to do it, and it puts you way ahead of most people.
You know what, that's so true, because I actually have been to websites where like the last blog post was up in May or something, and I'm like, oh, well, clearly they don't take their business seriously, and I'm just going to call myself out. I actually, over the last couple of years, have been managing my own site as well as teamnorthrup.com. And right now, our last blog post was up in May, and I'm so incredibly embarrassed. So now that I've announced that publicly, I'm going to go ahead and fix that.
And what people don't realize is that someone can look at your site and literally think your business doesn't exist anymore.
Right.
When they see a blog that hasn't been updated for a long time, because what else do they have to go by? They're like, oh, I don't know, has this business been out of business for the past 6 months? It makes sense that someone would think that.
Right, it absolutely does. No, it absolutely does, and I think that's so true. So now more just to the personal fun side. Well, just tell me what you teach in Creating Fame. I think it was fairly obvious, but just briefly.
Yeah. So Creating Fame is all about how to use online marketing to become that go-to person in your field. Something that's really amazing about the internet is that there are no gatekeepers. You create your own TV shows. You create your own opportunities, you know. Dr. Christiane Northrup is on Oprah, right? She's made that happen.
Right.
But most of us have not made that happen,
yeah.
right? It's very difficult to be a regular featured guest on Oprah. It's very easy to create your own web TV show. Anyone can do it instantly, and you can have people watch your show all over the world. So Creating Fame, to me, is really about embracing that DIY attitude. You don't have to wait for Oprah to anoint you the expert. You can claim your own fame, you can claim your own expertise, and this is about how to show that to the world in a way that gets new clients.
I love that, because one of the things that you and I have in common is that we're both young entrepreneurs. I don't know how old you are, but I'm 28.
I'm 27.
Okay, great. So we are children of the early 80s, and
yeah.
One of the things that I love that you talked about, again, at Rich, Happy, and Hot, was that aspect of permission. Mm-hmm. And like, we don't have to wait around for somebody to be like, I pick you. So how do you deal with moments of feeling like, oh my God, I'm only 27, like, who do I think I am? Or have you ever had anybody else say anything like that to you?
Yeah, there's actually a video on my blog that people might want to watch, or maybe you'll want to link to it,
okay.
called like the day when my worst fear ever came true. And basically, I started my business when I was 22, and when I was younger, I was very self-conscious. You know, I look even younger than I am. I sound young. I was very self-conscious about how I looked and how my voice sounded. And basically, this woman who was supposed to be a coach that was supposed to be helping me confirmed out loud every terrible thing that had ever gone through my head. She told me I needed to change my voice, that I needed to practice speaking in a lower tone every day in front of the mirror. She told me to change my hair, the way I dressed, the way that I looked, and, you know, basically, like, it was basically like hearing someone verbalize every crazy thought you've ever had in your head. Right? Kind of amazing. Yeah. It was kind of amazing because once someone says it out loud to you, you realize that you survive, yeah. Right? Once someone actually says to your face everything you've been thinking about yourself, and the world isn't set on fire, you know, right. Your clients don't all leave you, you're like, oh, people might think that about me, and it's no big deal. It actually doesn't affect me in any way. So that was actually a huge blessing in disguise.
Beautiful. Oh, that's so great. I'll definitely check that out, because that sounds like it's a hilarious video. Okay, so what time in your life? I know you're an entrepreneur. You work from home. You know, you have a lot of location freedom in your business. Yeah. But when do you feel most free in your life?
Oh, what a lovely question, Kate. I have amazing weekends. I'm actually, like, so a project of mine right now is to make my weekdays more like my weekends. Nice. Because something that I've actually never worked on the weekends for whatever reason. Just as soon as I started my business, I just didn't work on the weekends. And that's not to say, you know, that I never open my inbox on the weekend, but I genuinely don't work on the weekends. I don't work on the evenings. I keep a pretty normal work schedule. Mm-hmm. And I have these fabulous weekends of seeing my friends, going on hikes in LA. I love living here in LA because it's, you know, it's sunny and beautiful out right now. It's gorgeous all the time. You can always I live really close to the beach, go to the ocean and go hiking. And I think that's when I feel most free, just being in nature, being at the beach, spending time with friends is beautiful.
That's so good. That's so good. Okay, and last question is, what are you doing right now that you're scared of, but you're doing anyway?
Oh, you got juicy questions. Okay. What am I doing right now that I'm scared of, but I'm doing anyway? I've been much more open to making more decisions based on just what I want for the business, and not necessarily like what the smart business strategy is. Because this is something I've always believed, and I'm just really more and more seeing the truth of it, is when you run a business, you get to do it however you want.
Yeah.
And your goals in the business are yours alone. And your goal in the business does not have to be to make as much money as possible.
Right.
You know, I want to make money in the business, but that's not my highest goal. My highest goal is that I enjoy my life, and that actually everyone who works with me also has a life that they enjoy, that they also are spending a lot of time with their family, you know, that we're all having fun at work, that there's no tension or stress or drama. And sometimes the thing that makes the most money causes tension and stress and drama, right? So I'm really embracing ideas like, you know what, we can make prices lower just because our clients would like that.
I love that.
And that's the only reason. You know, maybe we will make less money, but our clients would like it, which is a scary place to go because people do not understand it.
But it's so good, because if you are in charge, why not actually orient everything around what you want? Because we are in a generation of women where we can have it all. We absolutely can, but the truth is we don't want it all. And so how can you organize your life around what you actually want? And it's a brave and courageous step to do that. So thank you so much for coming on my TV show. And you can see Laura at LKR on Twitter and lauraroeder.com. And sign up for her weekly The Dash that comes out on Wednesdays. Super, super helpful, applicable steps that you can take to build your business online and find out about creating fame at the link below. So have a great day, Laura. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kate.
Bye.